In this video, we are going to learn how to make a drop-down menu that drops down when you hover over it, hover over the button. So let's get started. Let's add our basic page HTML to this, and I will be using Notepad++, by the way, to do this. And if you would like to follow along using Notepad++, but if you do not know how to use Notepad++ as your code editor and get it to work with your browser, I have got a video to show you how, and I'll leave a link below in the description. So we're in Notepad++. We're going to save this as an HTML page. And EFGH, there you go, hypertext markup. And we'll just call this index.html. And I've already created a directory for it. It's this Hoverable drop down, and we'll save that as index.html, and we're going to run it just to make sure everything's working okay. So let's check it in Chrome, and you know this is what we have. It's working the way it's supposed to be working, and this here will be the final product right there. We're going to make a hoverable drop down. When you stick your mouse over it, it's going to drop down just like that. So let's get this out of the way. Let's go ahead and remove some stuff here and put in some new HTML. Let's just go over this real quick. We've got a div container. In this div, we've given it a class of dropdown. And we get making a button container using HTML5, the button. And we've given it the class of a drop btn. And then we've inside this drop down div, we created another div, and this is the actual links here. We've given it a class of drop down content. I've saved this just so you know what it looks like. That's what it looks like right now. We've got links, got the button. It's not really doing anything we want it to do just yet. So we're going to add some CSS to make this work, and we're going to add it to the main page, and then we will move it to its own CSS file afterwards. So to add it to the main page, we want to go into the head and create style tags. And remember, any HTML tag you open, you need to close as well. So we're going to do /style there. Let's separate these. Let's go grab this CSS that I've already got made up for this. Put it in the middle. Let's go ahead and save the page and run this. And you notice it's working now. So let's just go over the CSS we have real quick. Let's talk about it a little bit. You remember we have in the HTML, we have three different classes. We have dropdown, btn, and dropdown-content. All of these we can find what they do up in their CSS up top, right? Dropdown right here, you'll notice we have dropdown. That was the main outer div. We used a position relative, display inline block. And this is the part that's telling us where to show this part, this part right here. The display relative is telling the browser to put this underneath that drop-down button, because the drop-down button itself has got the position absolute on it. So display relatives bringing that whole drop-down list right up underneath it. And the drop-down content is the actual links themselves. It's hidden by default until it's hovered over. And just to show you something, we can change something. If you'll notice the drop-down content right now, the display of it is wider than our button. If we wanted it to go the width of the button, what we would do, let's go ahead and duplicate this right here. Okay, and let's comment out this top one here. And change the min width to 100%. And save that. And now let's run it. And you'll notice it brought it to the same width as the button itself by changing that to 100%. We got overflow hidden. It's for the mobile smaller screens. We want to use overflow hidden to enable it to be able to scroll on smaller screens. And then of course we have our hover selectors down here at the bottom telling it what to do and the colors to display upon hover, okay, for the various classes. Now let's move all this, let's take our CSS and move it to its own style sheet. So let's grab everything from the opening style tag to the closing and save. And so we're back to the way we were at the beginning, right? So there we are. And I've already got it all moved over here, except I removed the style tag, the opening and closing style tag. You don't want those inside your style sheet. So we're going to leave this as is. I'm going to save this. Right now I got it saved as a text file. We're going to go in here and we're going to save this as cascading style sheet. And let's see, there we go. Save this as main CSS. And I've got it. You notice I got the structure inside my main folder. I have a CSS folder. We'll save main CSS there. And we're going to come here back to the HTML page. And in the heading, we're going to put a link, a style sheet link to the main CSS. And let's go ahead and run that again in Chrome. And you'll notice it's all there. We got it going again. So if this has helped you, how about leaving a comment, like, thumbs up, subscribe. You have a good day.